All right, here we are. So this is going to be a little video. It's going to be like the 96 hours of Dallas. So we're on our way to do the first Ironman, half Ironman, at Little Elm, which is just north of Dallas. Now, from what I understand and seen, there's been a lot of races here before, but this is the first Ironman. So we're getting ready to head to the airport in CVG, and we've got to take our dog to daycare and our little French bulldog, and then we got to get her moving because she's slow. But I'm going to try to, if I can stay motivated, I'm going to try to get the full experience, the 96-hour experience. And a lot of times I don't feel like messing with the videos, but whenever I look back at them, I love to have them. Just like back in the day, you know, for me, when my dad was sitting there with a big old camcorder, and then I come back and watch him with my kids. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna see what we can do, try to get a good full overview of what it's like. So we're gonna go jump on the plane and pay a few last minute bills for the business and get on our way. So hopefully it's a good time, should be. What you doing, boobs? Huh? What you doing?
Shotgun in my hands, if you were to say I'm honest, it'd be contrarian. But I've been working on myself all fall. 6 beers a week ain't bad, little boring is all. You're so cool in my living room, and when you talk trash with your hair slicked back, can I bring my girl? She likes romance, good sex, music, and ruling the world. I'm gonna start a riot from the edge of my bed, 'cause I still see you in that pool hall in New York in my head. Used to know some folks who put it all online, but you paint landscapes in the evening time. 'Cause you're so cool in my living room, and when you talk trash with your hair slicked back, when I get to heaven, can I bring my girl?
Sticky ribs, what's the name of
She
this
likes
place?
romance, good sex, music, and ruling the world. Cause I'm a 7th generation country boy. My father used red man tobacco bags as baby toys. I'm gonna start a riot from the edge of my bed.
Okay, so this morning I woke up, we were finishing putting the bike together, and the front derailleur didn't want to shift. So we messed with it for a while, and we saw it was getting power and it was trying to shift, but it just wouldn't move all the way. So maybe it got bent, maybe I did something to it, not sure. But the good thing about it is this course is flat and I won't need it. So I actually just have it on the big ring, disconnected the power, and that's going to be what it is. No big deal, really. Luckily, if it was like St. George or something like the last race, we'd be in a not really big deal. We take it down to the bike shop, and we would to the tents down there in the village, and we get it fixed up. So, but I just did a ride, just kind of like a little warm up, little spurts of power. Very windy, lots of wind expected tomorrow. So with that being said, there's going to be a little element of probably, I don't want to say danger, but it could be a shit show as far as safety on the bike, getting blown around, you know. People being a beginning race of the year probably haven't been outside much. I ride outside quite a bit. I'm just as susceptible as anybody, but coming from a biking, BMX, motocross background, I have decent handling on the bike, and I'm heavy, so I put a lot of weight on the front end. Because the thing is, like, when that wind's blowing, you really want to be planted on that front end, you know, but your natural reaction is to like pull back, right? But that's not really what you want to do. Anyway, so we're about to go turn the bike in, and then I might jump in the water if I can, and then after that we're gonna call it a day and just sit back, chill, fuel up. So it's pretty good. Weather should be good, but no matter how well you try to prepare, it seems like the morning when you're getting the bike, your mind's just thinking of more things, more things to do, and at some point you just gotta kind of be like, all right, let's do it, you know. Make sure you're doing things that are effective, and make sure you're doing things that are actually bettering you, or, you know, you're not overthinking, because you will overthink the hell of it, you know. Do you have a tube? Do you have a patch kit? Do you have CO2? Do you have those things? Cool. All right, is your battery charged? If you have Di2, cool. All right, great. Wheels tight, everything good. Am I gonna bring a pump in the morning? All that, probably. Just, and just go with it, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's been good, and day's getting away from me, so I'm gonna go turn this bike in and get ready to do this thing. Yeah, here we go.
Love you.
Last one.
Finish hard, finish safe.
Yeah, I'm hanging it up. I'm hanging up the shoes
You're not. No,
after
you're not.
this.
No, you're...
Favorite part of the race, right? The morning.
Yeah.
So yesterday we went on a practice swim, and I ripped my wetsuit taking it off, unfortunately, but I still went out and swam, and I think it'll be fine. I mean, it's very unfortunate, but so it's very windy out today, gust up to 35 miles an hour. It's going to be a challenge as far as just, I mean, all aspects of it. The water seemed really slow yesterday when we were out there and did the practice. It just seemed slow, like tough, you know, like some bodies of water you get in and they're just, it's like you're fighting, and that's how it felt. The bike will probably be a challenge. Crosswinds are risky. They can be dangerous at that level. So really paying attention to the people around yourself, especially passing, which generally I'm doing quite a bit of on the bike. So being such an early race in the year, and just kind of, I wouldn't say at a peak position. I mean, I would say I'm 80%, 85% of what I would want to be like if I was trying to be at the absolute prime. But so yeah, we're about to head down to staging here shortly. I'm trying not to rush down there and get down there too early, but it's windy as heck, so we'll see. Hopefully nobody gets hurt on the bike, but if I was a betting man, there will be some crashes. I saw a couple in Texas actually, and they were, just, you hate to see that. People just, you know, normal people with jobs wrecking and getting hurt and stuff, so hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, nutrition is all ready, temperature is good. That's one thing about today, the temperature should be good, so that'll help me. But swimming training has been a little light, so we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, let's go get it done.
'Cause I still want you in that pool all in New York in my head. You're so cool in my living room. And when you talk trash with your hair slicked back, when I get to heaven, can I bring my girl? She likes romance, good sex, music, and ruling the world. track with your head slicked back.
Alright, so I'm going to try to make this recap as fast as possible. I was going to set up my camera on a tripod and do all that, but honestly I'm tired and I don't feel like it. And my dog just wants to... You say hi, Boogie? Huh? You sleepy? Sit here, because it's snowing in Indiana. So we made it home and from Little Elm, and here's the quick recap, okay? First off, my bike didn't make it home, which the airport was absolutely... It was just insane in Dallas. It was busy going in and it was busy going out. So, as far as the race itself, I really liked the venue. I really liked the setup just as far as logistically. All the parking, the one-stop transition, good for people, good for families. There's food around there. I really liked the area for the race, so I was really happy with that. Dallas Airport, if you're flying in, is just a shit show. It always is. It took a while to figure out where my bike was. I went to the oversized baggage claim, and then they took it over to the other side, and so that took a little bit, and I wasn't the only one. But that's all expected, so just plan that first day for, just patience and try not to get too worked up, because that does weigh on your system, I do truly believe. And that's one of the hardest parts, I think, about traveling races, is trying to stay off your feet. But by the time you get to the race, after 2 days of being there, I swear I'm walking around and I'm fatigued just from being up doing things all day, right? All right, so we left the airport and it was Friday. Sign up or athlete check-in was open from 2 to 7. So I was like, okay, we can't check into the Airbnb right now. Let's go get my packet. So I went and got the packet, and I had to sign up for the Nirvana thing to get a slot into this race because it was sold out. It's pretty expensive, but it kind of worked out okay because I was able to skip a huge line. I would have never waited in that line. I would have came back Saturday to get my stuff. But anyways, got the packet, sat around a little bit, just checked it out and looked around. Finally got in the Airbnb, started unpacking some things and getting things going, and getting the bike unpacked, and kind of just hung out, ate. Woke up the next day. My front derailleur wouldn't shift, so I don't know if I hit something or whatnot. But again, adapt and overcome, right? I don't need a small ring on this course, luckily, so I wasn't a huge deal. I unplugged it, and I have the wired Di2 Shimano. I unplugged it and just had it in a big ring, and it all worked out fine. I'll have to get it fixed, though, if my bike arrives, because it didn't make it home. So there was challenges for sure, but it didn't affect me as far as performance at all. So yeah, get nutrition, all that. Take the bike down Saturday, check in. One cool thing about this race is you could pretty much do a swim anytime, and it wasn't even like a time slot. You just have to stay in a certain area. Places I've been before, they were a lot more strict on the swim. As far as practice swim here, it was kind of like a public beach. So it was like, oh, just make sure you do it in this area. They didn't even like scan my chip in and then scan it out, which I've seen them do that before. I remember Texas full Ironman swim practice was like a complete shit show. But anyways, yeah, I mean, overall it was pretty good. Wake up the morning of, go down there, everything's flowing pretty well, and we windy as all get out. Knew it was going to be a tough day on the bike, right? But the day I practiced I practice swam, I was like, man, that water is slow, like the current seemed like it was pretty legit. I was swimming pretty damn slow for a wetsuit, and got out. I was like, man, that could be tough, right? And so the morning of the race, I was just chilling, and I heard they shortened the swim a little bit because, we were having winds like 30 miles an hour. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then I heard a little rumor as we were in transition that they might cancel it. And then sure enough, they canceled the swim, and I was like, well, I never thought I'd be this lucky, Actually, no, it is my least favorite event, but at the same time, it's part of it. It's like the one I take a lot of pride in. So
even though it was interesting to try it the way we did it. I was bummed out about it, and I'm bummed for the people that really trained hard on their swim or improved it and wanted to test it. But you have to think about safety first, and I feel like with the swim current plus the bike, it would have been like probably 30% more energy than like a traditional half, whether that's time or effort to get to a similar time, one or the other. So anyways, it's like, okay, here we go. So they staggered us up and we just took off. Well, I had that Nirvana thing, so I was number 160, right? So I was like in third place on the bike for like 40 miles because I'm a pretty good biker. And then I like finished the bike in like fifth or sixth. I don't know exactly what I got off the bike. And my brother was number 200. He biked, I think, 3 minutes faster than me. So about mile 30, 35, he got in front of me. Then I passed him back for a few minutes, and then he passed me, and then he put some time in on me. And so that was pretty cool. And I was like, all right. I don't know, but the first splits were very fast, 27, 28, 29 miles an hour with a good tailwind. And then we went into that wind the last 20 miles, and it was just like, hold on for dear life, get down and just keep the cadence up and go. And, I mean, it was kind of brutal. Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I'm just used to riding outside, so. But I do think trying to get out in the wind so much and like really being super tucked, I think I kind of worked my leg a little bit differently than I normally do on the trainer. So like the bottom of my quad was super fatigued, whether that was just putting in more power, muscling the bike. And I also was muscling like my upper body a lot, using more energy. So I could tell like when I got off the bike, I was like, ooh, this run's going to be tough. Like it's going to be tough for sure. And, ideally I wanted to run maybe like a 150. I mean, like in the eights, right? Depending on best case scenario, maybe eight flat. Worst case scenario, maybe 9:15s, right? That minute window. I know that's a big window, but you don't know who's going to show up, what kind of legs are going to show up, I've ran those paces before, but I got off the bike. I started with like a 8. I stayed in the 8s for a while, and then I kind of got into the 9, and then was kind of hovering. I remember my first lap, I was like 6.6 miles in an hour. So I was like, I think I can maybe do my under 2 hours, which with my bike would have been great because I biked a 2:39. Okay. Average watts on my Garmin said 235. Watts on the way out was like maybe 200, maybe 190 something. Once I went into the wind, which is low, a little bit low for me, but I was going so fast, like, you know what I mean? It was weird. And then on the way back, I was going like 240s on average and tucked all up in the arrow. And I was, I don't know, 17, 18, 19 miles an hour, trying to just keep it at 20 mile an hour. Ended up finishing at 21 point something mile an hour. So overall, I was like 80th on the bike out of 1,700. And I think my brother was maybe 40th or 50th. I don't know. A lot of spots in 3 minutes, though, for sure. Got on the run, ended up doing a 2:07, like a 9:47. I was on the verge of cramping really bad at the end. Just really fatigued. And I think the bike really did take a lot out of me. And I just the way, even though the watts were about what I normally would do, I think just the strength and the energy used to try to handle the bike in the wind took a lot out. And the lack of nutrition consumption in the wind was also a factor, I do believe. And even Lion was like, I was so torn up from that bike, and I believe there was a lot to that. So really a different experience. So the run course was awesome. One of the best run courses I've ever been on. I really liked it. Just different variety, just real nice, plenty big, Really nice. Really liked it. Bike course was, I'd give it like a medium. Better than Galveston, for sure. Not as flat. Probably more enjoyable, though. What else? I'd do this race again in a heartbeat. I mean, the beginning of the year, though, you're going to have issues, right? You could potentially have, weather. And, so it was a beautiful temperature day, but the day we left today, it was like freezing in the morning. I would have been miserable. So, we kind of lucked out in some ways, too. But overall, I mean, I think maybe they need to potentially maybe push it back or push it into the fall. Because think about Texas. I mean, I forget when Waco is, but you got Galveston, and then you have the Woodlands, the Full, and then now you have Little Elm. Why can't we push it back a little bit? I think weather is going to continue to be an issue here and there, but that's also the name of the game. Sometimes it's part of racing. Everybody has the same track, same conditions, right? So I enjoyed it. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I felt a little fatigued on the bike. Even when I started going, I was like, man, my legs don't feel great. But so overall, I just had an average day. I'd give it an average day. I mean, I would like to say I could have probably knocked about 15 minutes, 10 minutes off that time pretty comfortably, maybe. But you always are just what you are. That's what I was on the day that day, and that's it. The time thing is something you can obsess yourself over. I mean, it's if that course was not 30, 40 mile an hour winds, I think it would have been really fast. I think we probably would have been in the 22s, 20, maybe even 23 mile an hour. Yeah, 230 type bike course for around 240 watts, probably maybe a little quicker on a good day, but it was awesome. I liked it. I don't have much more to say. I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. It really took quite a bit out of me. Just the whole travel and all that just is a lot. So anyways, I'm going to be lazy the rest of the day and then hang out with the kids the rest of spring break. So hope you guys enjoyed it.